You don't use conditioner? I don't either.
Use it on your pubes.
Use body wash.
I just put cum right in the hair. Protein shake.
That's what you do instead of use conditioner. You drink cum.
I put it in. I rub it in my hair. Like there's something about Mary.
Oh, nice.
It shows.
Yeah, you have great hair.
It's healthy.
I follow this guy on Twitter who he's like a really weird guy who has like these like he like seems like he has some like psychological issues and stuff. His name's like Martin.
Is it our former president?
Oh boy.
He's still our president.
To you.
He's still, yeah.
Yeah. But he was eating like shrimp with the shells, and he was eating crab shells like with it and stuff. He was like,
is he
really
Asian?
Good for your I think he's Latino. He's like, this is really good for your hair and skin.
Yeah, but what about your stomach?
That's what I was thinking.
It cannot be good for your tum-tum.
Yeah. And then he always
in Vietnam, we were eating shrimp with like full shell, legs, everything. Just fucking eating them. That's how they do it.
With eyeballs.
And poop.
Yeah. The vein.
The whole thing.
It's really just sand. That's all that poop, the shrimp poop. The vein, like that thing in the middle is just sand.
So you're eating poop and sand. That's disgusting.
Yeah. I used to eat sand when I was like
I thought you were gonna say
a toddler.
poop.
I almost did say poop. I ate sand at the playground. I remember eating sand when I was really little and then having to poop it out, and it was really painful because it was like comes out like glass.
And you can just eat it though because it's just sand.
I was like, man, this is so good. Why aren't more people doing this? Like,
you're like a shrimp.
Yeah, I'm a shrimp boy. A friend of mine.
Where's that?
My friend Kim said that he was in Vietnam one time. He's Vietnamese, and he was they were at a restaurant and they served live monkey brain from the monkey's head. You want to know how they did it? This is a really upsetting story, actually.
He used a hammer.
No, they have a table.
That's what they do in Faces of Death. So he's describing a scene from a movie that's fake, but go on.
So you don't believe the story?
No, because this is a scene from a movie that's known to be doctored and fake. But go on. They put the monkey in the table.
Yeah, there's a table with his head. They take a machete, do like a little tap here, and then like take the skull off, and then they eat it with spoons.
And the monkey's screaming?
Yeah. But it's like a delicacy in Vietnam.
How could you eat anything that's just screaming?
Or
how could you be in the same room?
Dead.
No, it's still alive when you eat it.
It's live monkey brain.
You believe this?
I mean, yeah.
It's a mammal. It's not like an extremely primitive like cockroach where you rip its head off and its legs are moving.
But it's like that scene in Hannibal.
Please don't eat me.
You know that scene where Anthony Hopkins eats Ray Liotta's brains?
That's from Scary Movie. That's from Scary Movie 2, Adam. Come on.
That's from Hannibal 2.
No, this was an original scene from Scary Movie 2. And Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show was inside Marlon Wayne's head. Don't you know anything about movies?
That sounds good.
Yeah, so my friend, he was in my friend was in Vietnam, and he told me that this like military captain, he didn't want to help these soldiers get up this river, but when he found out one of them was a surfer, he decided to bomb a village and then let them all surf.
Yeah, you're talking about Surf Ninjas?
Yeah.
No.
The Rob Schneider movie?
I'd say Quan Su, dude.
I did hear that there is like, they don't eat the monkey brain when it's live, but what they do is they have a table, and I don't know if it's Vietnam or somewhere, it's somewhere else, but instead of eating the monkey brain, they do the same thing. They have a table with like a hole, and they stick the monkey's butt up through the table, and then they just eat the monkey's ass while the monkey's alive.
And the monkey's like...
The monkey doesn't like it.
They love it.
Yeah, he's screaming in ecstasy.
But then if you have a party like bigger than 4, it'd be probably starts getting like, you know, when you get over tickled, like it's fun at first and then it starts hurting.
Yeah. I'm done now. The monkey's like, okay, that's not fun anymore.
I was watching on True TV World's Dumbest Partiers, you know, like World's Dumbest Criminals, one of those shows. And on this one, there's a bunch of guys playing poker, and then they just started tickling their friends' balls, and he was laughing so hard, and they were like gang tickling him, and he peed his pants, and it was pretty something. I don't know, maybe something we could try after quarantine.
Just tickling you until you pee your pants.
Tip my balls. They were getting his ball over the jeans for sure, but
how were they doing it? Like,
oh, they're just probably about eight different hands in there.
This is on World's Dumbest Partier.
True,
yeah. This is on True TV. That's awesome.
Yeah,
good content.
Would it be cool if you had a restaurant where like all the chairs had holes in the middle so your balls could rest through the seat?
Like a massage table for your face.
My dad has a donut pillow for his office chair that is exactly like that. It only has a little area like cut out hole. It's like a perfect circle except like a little bite out of it. I don't know if it's for your balls, but I'm guessing it is.
Man, that would be
looking at footage of
dining luxury.
Vietnamese people eating monkey brains.
Are you really?
Are they alive?
I'll ask my friend, but if he was fucking with me, but he was
like it was real.
He said it was really upsetting. He saw it and it was upsetting. He said, "What'd you say?"
Well, in Faces of
he's Vietnamese.
It's hard
from Vietnam.
In Faces of Death, it's fake. It's like faked footage. It's like visual effects, like
every single one.
Most of them.
Everything in Faces of Death is fake, right?
There's some news footage.
Oh, I see.
That's real.
Yeah.
But most of it's
I haven't seen
staged.
it. I haven't seen that movie.
It's
I was in it. I had a cameo.
Yeah, you were.
I guess I was extra work, but
yeah,
the one where the guy gets his balls hammered with a nail.
Yeah, you're in the background, like drinking a cocktail.
I'm just walking at a party, like I'm just in this. So I got paid $500 for the day plus craft.
Yeah, nice. Central casting coming through. Faces of Death was in that Blockbuster because you can get it at Blockbuster, right?
No, they would never rent that at Blockbuster.
Wasn't it in theaters for a while? Like local theaters?
It was released in theaters, yeah.
I remember
it came out in the early 80s. It was it was a huge hit, and it was all funded by Japanese money.
Well, that makes sense.
Like all cool movies.
Nice. I remember, I think maybe I thought that it was Faces of Death, but what I was actually seeing when I was a kid at Blockbuster was the zombie flesh eaters poster. And that looked like a Face of Death, maybe. I remember that VHS art in Blockbuster.
Yeah, with the snowman and
the holographic cover, and you turn it and it becomes like, evil. Wow.
Ice Cream Man was a good horror movie of that. But zombie flesh eaters or zombie, I remember being like, ugh, gross. What the fuck? Because it's like a gross zombie's face.
As opposed to like a pretty one.
Yeah.
Well, they're like rotten zombies.
What they're what?
They're like rotting zombies. They're not like...
Oh, yeah. They're old corpses.
Like most American zombie movies, it's like a guy with like a head wound. You know, who's like pale. Yeah. Zombie flesh eaters, they come out of the ground and they have like worms and shit crawling out of their mouth and eyes.
Cool. It's from, guess who is it by, William?
Who is
Rob Zombie.
Dario Argento.
Dario Argento, Mr.
Oh, what a guy. What a little scamp. No, it's George by the director of the movie that we... No. It's by Lucio Fulci.
Who?
The director of Murder Rock.
What's his first name?
Oh,
Lucio.
Hey, I didn't do a segue this time.
You almost got me.
It was good. Like there were some really cool shots in this movie, and it's a horror or just more of like a thriller, murder rock.
It's like it's
because it wasn't too scary, but
it's a Giallo.
I would say this is Giallo. Yeah.
What's that?
Although,
what's Giallo mean?
So Giallos are it means yellow. There were these like paperback books in the 50s, 60s that were really popular. They're like murder mysteries, like
Who Done It?
Yeah, exactly. And they're usually about a person trying to solve a murder case who's not like a cop or a detective. But in this movie, the lead character, the teacher, she's not trying to solve the case at all. She's just like she decides just to fuck this guy from her dream.
Yeah, she's distracted by just.
Well, I mean, once we get to the spoiler, but at the end, it makes sense why she's not trying to solve the case.
Right.
She already know who done it.
Or does she?
Spoiler alert? Question
mark. This movie's old as hell. I was about to turn it off because the first murder. So it's about somebody. It's about somebody that chloroforms naked women, or sometimes they're clothed, chloroforms them, and then while they're passed out, uses a needle, right? Like just a basic.
It's a hairpin.
Yeah.
Hairpin to.
So the movie's made by an old man.
To slowly poke through the chest to stab the heart. But when the first one happened, she's like laying within 5 minutes of the movie. She's like laying in the shower, butthole naked, and.
Well, first she's having sex with her boyfriend.
Well, they're making out.
They're making out. They're about to do it, but they're staying late after school. And there's like a security announcement on the intercom.
It's like a last call announcement.
The entire school will be locked down in 15 minutes, and then all the lights are
going to have this weird, scary strobe thing happening.
Yeah,
these serial killers want to kill people right now.
And then when the needle was going towards the chest, though, the first thing I thought was like, that pin's going through the nipple. And I'm not watching a movie where the serial killer just stabs people through the nipple.
Oh, the nipple hole, like directly in the center, bullseye.
Yeah, that's what it looked like in one of the shots. That's like the angle it was going for. And I was like, no.
You would have been like, oh man, that's too much.
Well,
but like 2 inches away from the nipple, you're like, all right, I'm in.
Well, you think about it happening to your nipple when it's that. Ryan's picturing a hairpin going through his own nipple.
I'm an empathetic watcher, so it would be
like,
more.
Ooh. You're just sitting there like, I can't.
It's like, just kill me. Why you got to go through the nipple hole?
Yeah, that's
also it's just something I didn't want to like see. I've seen a million people get stabbed in the chest with a hairpin. Forget about it. Yeah. I'm numb to it.
You just have a weird thing about nipples.
You would never watch a movie where a person got like their nipples bitten off?
No. Well, I mean, have you ever watched the old Devilman?
The anime?
Animes, yeah. He's like ripping he's like ripping people's boobs off and shit.
Yeah, but
that's anime, but it's pretty it's pretty detailed.
Yeah, it's a drawing though.
Yeah, it's realistic. It's pretty good.
I mean, he has like wings coming out of his head.
No, I'm talking about the boobies he rips off.
You like
it's as visceral as what the props would be, the visual effects would be in like a 80s gore movie.
Do you also like hentai?
No, not anymore.
Not
since I started drawing it professionally.
You're like, I don't want.
It's like it's all work.
Yeah. Trying to get away from the office.
Yeah, like when a chef works at a fine dining restaurant, he just wants to see McDonald's after work. He doesn't have time.
Totally.
I've been cooking all day,
Yeah.
What do you think of the opening scene with the breakdancing?
I just thought it was gonna be a music video.
The music video the music in this movie is so.
First 10 minutes is
weird.
Music and dancing.
There's an opening that has dancing in it, and then it immediately goes into a scene that has a different dancing.
It's like 1984, so it made sense. The music did,
but it kind of felt
the opening
like
has breakdancing.
Guy picked the soundtrack, or like was kind of being like, "Yeah, that's what sounds good. That's what kids like."
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the director thought the music sucked.
Oh, really?
Hated the music. Yeah, he thought it was terrible.
Well, he's right. Maybe
there was,
dude, if there was good 80s
some transition scenes where it's like somebody just got murdered, and in in normal movies like that, it'd be like dun 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 type suspenseful music.
Yeah, it was like funny, weird 80s.
It did a crossfade, and it was like cocaine.
Well, yeah, it's like an MTV like inspired movie, and also Flashdance is a big inspiration. So they're just like,
I could tell that.
Yeah. Oh, he made like a Flashdance horror movie, basically.
Yeah, they're just crowbarring in as many
came up with
little gimmicks as they can. That's why they have like random like kids from New York doing breakdancing in the opening scene
that you never see again.
You never see again. There's no breakdancing in the entire movie. And then
I think it was just set in the times, because then it was showing like graffiti on the wall and like going through the city. It was just giving you a time. It said 1984. This is what the world's like.
Yeah, maybe that's also like because he's Italian. Like maybe that's him putting like the outsider's stamp on like a. He's trying to do like, I'm trying to show this like time and like cultural thing right now. So he shows stuff that kind of doesn't fit.
I'd be curious if like Lucio Fulci was even there shooting that scene, because it's so poorly shot compared to the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's all handheld.
Walking through a tunnel. Like
you walk through a tunnel,
crossfading into break dancers. Yeah.
Into an empty restaurant with 4 kids dancing. You can tell they like picked it. It's like a nightclub they like went to during the day and were like, we're just going to shoot here.
Yeah.
There's no one drinking. There's no one like having fun.
It went on forever. Like 4 minutes. But I guess they did opening credits. So that's probably why. They just needed filler.
Right. But they could have done the credits over the next dance scene that happens immediately after.
Which is also 4.5 minutes long. The first 10 minutes is just dancing.
But the second dance scene, I think, is a lot better shot. There's some like cool shots in that.
And it introduces you to the characters. Like this is a high-end ballet, break dance, whatever kind of dance.
It's supposed to be like a really high-end dance. Yeah. It's supposed to be a really high-end dance academy, but they're dancing like prostitutes, or like they're like dancing even more sexy than like the girls in Showgirls. Like they're just covered in sweat. Yeah, they
have like legit thongs with like
they're all wearing thongs.
That's like an 80s thing. That's like an 80s exercise outfit is what they were wearing. Everybody was dressed like that.
But they're supposed to be dance students.
I thought the bathing suit or like the leotards used to not be like legitimately like going up your ass crack. Had like some coverage on the cheeks.
In all my mom's photos from the 80s, she was wearing thong leotards. So
okay,
but
that's cool.
I think they were trying to be like, we're modern. We're a modern dance for the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like exploitation, just to get like the audience,
sexy people. Yeah.
They're a bunch of sexy students, and they're trying to use really trendy music.
Yeah. The guys are legitimate sweatpants.
The guys cannot dance. Yeah, he doesn't care about any of the male characters.
Man, it would have so much, like the style of it, I feel like would work. So it would be like, oh, this is an amazing 80s movie if the music was just better.
Yeah, he's really phoning it in. So that guy, Keith Emerson,
was like that though.
But it sucked. It was garbage.
He makes better music than that.
Of that. Like,
it's not good.
Like a Euro version of it.
Like he did the music for Inferno, and it's a lot better. It's way better than this.
Those weren't like radio play songs. He made up all those songs in this movie. Like he composed all of them.
This guy he's in the band Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Who?
That's Keith Emerson.
Oh wow.
You ever heard of Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
So those were original songs in Murder Rock. Those are original songs. They weren't like
you could buy this. It's
radio.
It had the soundtrack released through something.
The way Italian movies work is, I don't know if this was the deal on this movie, but apparently the way it would work is you would get the music for free, but then the musician was allowed to sell the record on their own and pocket all the profits from the record. Okay. So that's why there's so many records.
That makes sense.
For Italian movies.
It's a good way to get original music, or like, I don't know. That's a good compromise that like works for everybody. It's not like,
unless the musicians
like gaming
are better than the movie. If the music's better than the movie, then the musicians are going to make a ton more money.
So
that's usually what happens.
But they shouldn't be the movie. If it's like songs, if it's not like score, the movie shouldn't be really own the music. The musician and the composer should own the music.
I think also, I don't know if this, I mean, I'm just talking to my ass, but like, I think after like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was like such a big soundtrack album, that was kind of like the deal they all wanted. They're like, it makes sense. And also like, the music tends to be way better than the movies for most of these like Italian exploitation movies.
Oh, really?
This is like a rare example where the movie is better than the music.
Yeah. Well, whoever was the scene, I don't know the words, like the scene layouts and like how they were filmed, the direction, I guess, too, was awesome. Like the lighting and the
he's a really good director.
The second murder after the little bird gets murdered, the little bird named Titty gets murdered. Also, why the hell did they have to kill the damn bird? That's just unnecessary.
Vegan trigger warning.
Oh, not even that. Just like that had nothing to do with the serial killers.
Well, it sets up the scene.
Or the bird was named Titty, because every single time the killer, you see the titty pop out, and then they stab him with the little pin.
Wait, so the bird was named Titty?
Titty. But it was Titti.
And this thing stabs the hairpin, and the boob thing happens.
And that's how they killed the bird too.
Through the bird's boob.
Through the little bird sternum, yeah. Through the bird's nipple.
Bird had fucking huge boobs, dude.
That was a thick bird, dude.
Yeah,
that was a thick little parakeet.
That's my favorite Sesame Street character.
Birds. What'd you say?
Thick bird.
My favorite. No, big boob. My favorite Sesame Street character.
Oh, nice.
Just a big tit.
Big titty, a tiny sparrow.
Little kids run up and hug it.
Yeah.
Teaches you addition.
Well, it has no voice. It's just a giant tit that rolls down the street.
Rains milk every now and again.
Just squirts all the kids.
Would you be pissed if you got crushed by a giant tit rolling down the street?
No, because I'd go full spread eagle with my legs and my hands, and when it rolled over me like a boulder, I'd squeeze, and I'd be like, I went out squeezing titty, you know.
Nice. Just for like a split second.
And just like,
and then I'm just flattened.
It just rolls over you like a giant water balloon.
Yeah.
But the nipple aligns perfectly that it squishes and pops my head first before the rest of my body.
Yeah.
Or that would be last, I guess.
You wouldn't try to suck on that?
Yeah, nipple? You're right. It would be last. That'd be the...
Yeah.
Just really quick.
I'm picturing the nipple like the size of my head.
Yeah.
If not bigger.
Yeah.
You got your coffee and you're just trying to like squeeze a few drops out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be worse ways to go.
Yeah, I would do that too.
Hey, I need a little milk for my coffee.
Like a hairy, sweaty ball would be worse. Hairy, sweaty testicle.
Man. Yeah.
And New York City in the summer.
Yeah. And you can't outrun it because it's like kind of wobbly how it rolls because it's got, two little nuts.
It'd be funny if on Sesame Street they have a character with big balls and like, normally in Sesame Street the character comes up from behind a table, but the big balls character just like descends from the ceiling and it's just like a sack, like an old wrinkled sack.
You never see what it is connected to.
Yeah. There's like a kid, working on his homework. He has to make like a diorama or like, he has to like cut out pictures from the newspaper and like paste them in. He's like, I don't have any glue. And then just like a sweaty nutsack, just like has like greasy sweat.
They're working and go. They're working and they just like, you don't see it come behind you. You just a little pube kind of just tickles your face. And you're just like, what the fuck? Big ball.
Oh, big ball. It's just you.
This little curly boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the titty.
Yeah,
well, I just fucking take a machete and just cut the bottom of it off and just fucking drink the blood,
Well, the balls would come out of the sack
Yeah, and then they
like knock you out, like
strangled. You'd get strangled by them.
Do a little pickup basketball. You know what I'm saying?
A bunch of snakes.
You go like that, like roll it off your shoulders or whatever.
No, I just started bouncing the ball, just dribbling it up and down the street.
That's cool.
Yeah, because that's what insides the testicles are.
A perfectly round ball.
Just a perfectly round, bouncy ball.
Perfectly round ball.
Maybe more of a rugby ball. Okay,
it's kind of like the inside of a baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. The baseball is.
Look, I never tore open my sack and looked inside.
Dude.
You don't know what testicles are, though?
Mine bounce like silly putty.
When you got the sack. Without the sack, we're nothing, dude. We just got a bunch of spaghetti down there.
Yeah, totally. Sack keeps it all together.
Sack's the bowl, baby. The sack's the
spaghetti
bowl.
and meatballs.
Sack's the ball. Totally. But yeah.
But yeah, so he kills a bird. Oh, what I was saying is that second murder when she's trying to get out of the window. And then it shows a scene from outside the window, and she's kind of a silhouette. That shit was cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's such a good director.
The lighting scheme from in the first
background.
killing.
Yeah.
He's a good director, but he's also...
The first one was a little much. There was so many cut scenes, and it went on a little long.
I think the directing gets worse in the movie as the movie goes on. I feel like...
I got more bored with the directing towards the end, yeah.
Because that first murder scene in the gym is pretty awesome. And then there's some nice camera pans and like showing the empty hallway, then going back to the girl.
Totally.
And then also when the second girl is killed in her house, there's like some cool long shots on a hallway where like, it's like just a tiny silhouette of a person, like 3 rooms down.
Oh,
but then by the end, it just gets lazier and lazier. And I think a big problem with this movie is the lieutenant. That cop is just a terrible actor.
I was going to say, I thought he was really funny.
He looks cool, though. He looks like a good old grizzled detective, you know? Like he looks like...
He's not a good cop, though.
No.
His performance
I thought he was going to be the badass.
He looks like a fucking Doritos detective, dude.
Yeah.
He looks like he's eating a little
detective,
Doritos.
He looks like he's a year away from retirement, and he's like, I got to deal with this titty case.
I get what you're saying.
Let me go wash my Dorito hands.
He looks like the cop in New York Ripper. And I feel like Fulci was probably wanted to cast that guy. But then that guy was like...
Remember the scene where he slaps the guy?
New York Ripper?
The interrogation scene where he slaps the kid.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. Out of nowhere. It kind of was out of nowhere.
What about when...
it's just really funny.
When the first girl dies, he wheels her dead body down the hallway, letting every student look at her corpse one by one. And they're just crying.
For a second, I thought it was him. Like, as the killer.
The cop?
Because of that. But then he's just a bad cop. No, I don't think they were trying to set it up like he was the killer. He was just a lot of that.
Well, he does a lot of that in the movie of like the messing with the audiences, you know, asking like guess of who the killer is.
But there is one major clue in the second murder that lets you know who the killer is from the beginning, essentially.
Who?
Well, what? Because they make it set up like it's Willie.
They make it set up like it's the guy. He does a thing a lot where there's like a person who shows up right after or before who was there. And he never explains what happens to Willie, who just leaves, and then the girl is murdered. But there's a burning cigarette left in
oh
yeah,
the burning cigarette in the ashtray, and then the killer is smoking the entire movie.
Yeah,
but I've seen it before, so I knew who the killer was.
I didn't catch that. I was kind of in and out, though. I was playing a game behind it. But
that's cool.
How dare you?
I dared.
I mean, you weren't being a very good like audience detective.
I mean, it was.
The audience is supposed to be the detective when they're watching this movie. You're trying to figure out who did it.
Yeah, but they're not like literally every time. The first time you're like, oh, it's Willie. The first kill you don't know because it's the first kill. And all you know is it's somebody with a glove and chloroform and a pen and a booby fetish. And then the second kill, it's like, okay, it's clearly not Willie. That's way too obvious. We're only 20 minutes in.
A real character in the movie?
He was the guy.
Oh, okay.
He was
Christian Borromeo.
He was the boyfriend of the first dead.
Right. Yeah.
What am I wrong?
But it shows.
Yes, that's him.
And then, because he came over to just like grieve, and she's like, "Hey, I have a picture of the two of you dancing. Let me go get it so you can have it to remember her by."
And then he disappears.
And then she goes into the kitchen and takes 42 minutes to pour 2 glasses of some weird juice, talk with her bird, and says, "How do you like being in a cage?" Yeah, she's like, "I bet you really like being right there." It's a weird dialogue with her bird, both in the subtitles and the English dub. It's like your bird doesn't give a shit about you, dude. But then the only thing I picked up was titty. Nice. She called it titty, and I was like,
"You're like, what's up?"
I go, I bet.
What's up?
I bet the bird's the killer. That's what I thought.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But then the bird died, and you're like.
And there's that scene where she's looking out the hallway and she hears the bird like struggling, and it's 30 seconds where she's like, "That's my bird dying."
Okay, we get it. You think the movie was too long, like took too long.
But it was also a cool shot. Like it was a really cool angle and a really cool close up of her face and her like realizing somebody's in her apartment behind her, killing her bird.
Better directed than it should be. I feel like.
And then it cuts pretty quickly to the dream sequence after that, right?
With the smoker, yeah. It's
or is that the
after?
Well, the bird is dead. Yeah, she realizes the picture's gone. So Willie took it
after the second. But they also, I was going to say,
and then the bird is dead on the table, and then it goes straight to the dream sequence.
They also,
it's a girl running, the teacher, and then it's a guy with a very long needle, like sliding forward, like a Spike Lee style shot, and then
that was pretty cool.
No.
But
she's in a flowy gown.
They set up
nightgown.
They set up that she's. I feel like they set up stuff in the opening scene. I was going to say, where they like show the dancers that are going to get killed in like a moving close up that has them all in it.
All the best dancers are getting killed. So like the first victim is the best dancer, then the second victim is the second best dancer.
That's like the mystery of the.
So the teacher did try and solve. She did try and solve.
Yeah, but she was crazy.
In the Giallo.
She was crazy.
In a way, because she had that dream, and then she was like with the who was she with? And she saw this guy in just literally on a billboard.
Like, yeah, and she like obviously just seen him on a billboard and then like planted that in her subconscious.
And then she
already knew him.
Showed up, yeah. But we didn't know that until later.
She knew him from the advertising.
She knew him from before. Also,
she was a smoker. No,
yeah, but we didn't know that at that time.
No, she didn't. What are you talking about?
Ryan, she knows who he is.
No,
you don't know the significant.
No, the movie is saying that because she's mentally unstable or whatever. The movie's saying that she doesn't.
Are you saying at this time?
That shot of her
the whole movie?
Right. No, the movie is setting it up to be that she's a smoker, and that's why she sees the billboard, right?
Because it's a cigarette advertisement.
But we find out at the end of the movie that they knew each other way back in the day.
Yeah, but when she looked at the billboard, we don't know that she knows. She's like, "That's the guy from my dream," and then he's like,
yes.
"Well, that's a famous billboard, so you probably just saw it and subconsciously did it." And then she's like, "I'm still gonna track this guy down, this famous actor or this famous model down."
Well, she's not talking to the cop, right? She's talking to
who is she with?
Dick, the guy who with the glasses who like runs the school. He's like
and he's just hooking up with all of them.
He's having an affair with her. He's having an affair with one of the students. There's a great scene.
He calls them whores.
Yeah, there's a great scene where he visits her. He visits the teacher at her house after the first murder. And the teacher's just like walking around nude. And like you're constantly seeing her reflected through window like mirrors. And there's like one part where he's just talking to her and then she's out of focus in the background, just like rubbing Vaseline on her breasts. And I was like,
what you were saying? What were you saying? Oh, don't mind me.
It's pretty funny, and I was just I've never seen that in real life. I I mean,
do that when they're in a room and I have to talk to them.
I've seen people
all the time.
do that with coconut oil, but like for practical, like put on lotion before you go to bed type stuff.
Yeah, what are you talking about, William? You never seen that?
Just like sitting there,
and
then she runs and slides across
it's
the bed.
a very long scene. Yeah, it's just going on and on and on. She's just like greasing up her whole body in front of him. I mean, they are lovers, so I'm sure.
Well, he was gonna try and grab her, and she just pops out like a wet soap.
Yeah, she's so slippery from the lotion.
But then she decides to go find this actor. Or I guess
wait, why do they have it so she knows about the end?
Well,
you didn't know
that's the whole. That's kind of the whole reason.
You got to pay attention, Adam. It's a complicated story. So one thing she tells
we'll get to that.
Dick. She tells Dick this or the cop? I think she tells him that when she was younger. No, she tells the guy when she goes on a date with him.
Yeah. Oh, so she first of all, I want to talk about how she finds this guy. She figures out what hotel he's staying at, some seedy hotel, and she shows up and just flirts her way into somebody's hotel room. She goes to the front desk and she's like, "Hey, I'm looking for this guy," and he's like, "I can't give you that information." And then she's like, "But I'm sexy," and he's like, "Oh, here's this room key, basically."
All right, you go in, have a good time.
And she goes and just like looks through all of his stuff.
Right.
And then he catches her and he's wasted. He goes, "What? You haven't seen a drunk guy before?"
Yeah, that was weird.
Also, what the fuck are you doing in my apartment? That would have been my first question, or my hotel.
And then
so he's just a washed up actor.
Yeah, and she's like, "I had a dream about you. Let's go on a date.
Get lunch." Yeah.
No, she leaves her purse.
Oh yeah, that's right. She leaves her purse.
Just kidding.
She leaves her purse, and that's how he finds out. And he's like, "I got your purse. You want it?"
Yeah. But then
they hit it. They hit it off at lunch.
That scene where she's smoking, waiting for him, really communicates that it's like a thing in her subconscious. I think that's why I'm so shocked.
That she knows him. That she knows him.
Yes.
Well,
what's the point?
She knows. That
is the point.
Through the whole thing.
Yeah, we find out at the end of the movie that they knew each other.
And he.
But why doesn't
she
remember?
She does. She's psychotic.
Yeah, it was traumatic. So at lunch, she tells him that when she was young, she was going to be a successful dancer, except that some guy on a motorcycle ran her over.
He doesn't remember her, right?
Correct. We find out at the end of the movie, he's the guy that ran her over.
Yeah, that's how they know each other. And that's kind of why it ruined her career, but she's going off killing all these. So the teacher is the killer. Spoils.
Big spoiler.
They were lovers?
They were not lovers.
After lunch,
you think he ran her over and then just fucked her on the street?
But they became lovers.
Or he busted.
Yeah. That's like Crash shit.
When he ran her over, he just busted.
No!
Just from the vibrations of the seat.
Yeah, they had sex.
Yeah, that's Crash. That's very Crashy.
Wait, so did she know him then?
Say that,
or did she also forget? She didn't. She just didn't understand.
So this is another common trope.
She didn't know that she got.
Of
she didn't know that
Giallo.
he was the guy who ran her over.
Right. It's a forgotten memory. This happens all the time in these movies. Yes, this happens all the time in these movies, and then at the end they remember. It's a very.
I don't think you told Brian what Giallos are, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Old 50s, 60s novels.
They're novels, but it's like a mystery, like with specific.
That's a mystery.
Murder mystery where one of the people that's not a cop tries to solve the crime.
Yeah, that's the main thing. And then and then in the late 60s, 70s, they made like a ton of these movies in Italy, just like a shit ton.
So that's the part is when she tries to track down this billboard guy from her dreams. That's kind of the murder mystery. That's her working on the murder mystery, but then she doesn't really suspect him because she just starts boning him. Yeah,
classic mistake.
But the detective is on the case.
Yeah, slapping kids in his office.
That scene is so funny. That's a really funny, like, I don't know.
That's a good scene.
I was cracking up.
Oh, because the kid's admitting to it, right? Even though he didn't do it, he's just like...
Just two funny performances.
I thought that guy should have been Willie.
That admitted it?
Because I thought Willie was the one who was like, we need to close the school. Doesn't anybody care about the murders? Doesn't anybody...
Yeah, he went crazy.
Yeah.
I figured that should be him calling the cop, confessing, and then fucking up everything. And hopefully then they would close the school or maybe.
Yeah.
He was a dum-dum, so yeah.
It was just another student. It was Bart.
Just a rando character.
He's in the beginning of the movie. He has a couple lines.
Well, but I mean, it had no context because Willie is like grieving and he has like the psychological trauma that it would make more sense if Willie was the one.
I know. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just this random guy, Bart.
It was Bart.
And then the cop is like, no, this is too easy. He's lying.
Yeah.
But like New York cops would have been like, great, he confessed. Let's fucking convict him and shut the case down. I don't care if he
they
does.
They also have that
investigation.
They have that crazy technology where the serial killer calls in through a payphone and is like, "Oh, I want to let y'all know I got another urge to stick a pin in their heart right next to their titty."
Yeah,
and
it's like it's kind of like that voice.
And they have this technology where they can just every human voice is like a unique fingerprint. There's no identical voices.
Yeah.
Then what the hell's an impersonator doing?
This is another common trope of Giallos. They always have like some ridiculous technology that allows them to like identify the killer.
Wait, that's not real technology?
No, dude. It'd be so like. Have you ever heard of Frank Caliendo? Dude can impersonate anybody's voice.
Yeah, and like in
so
one movie
you tell us what is an oscilloscope. I don't.
That's what they say it is.
Heard that word?
He's like, this is an oscilloscope. It's
probably not a real thing.
And then he describes the technology.
An oscilloscope is a real thing. This is not what it does.
What does an oscilloscope do then?
I mean, it just visualizes like waves, right? You're just looking at waves.
So you could probably an oscilloscope, previously called an oscillograph, formerly known as a scope or
I got my own scope.
Type of electronic test instrument that graphically displays varying signal voltages using. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah. But how'd you like to take a look up at my oscope?
Come check out my O's. It just turns sound things into a 2-dimensional sound wave.
Yeah. Looks like I was correct.
But can't you then use that as a match thing? If you have like a visual
and then convict a person and send them to jail for the rest of their life. Yeah, totally, Adam.
Just like a truth detector.
And also wouldn't prove anything. It would just prove that he left the phone call, which he did. So,
right.
It was him in the phone booth.
I mean, he left. Yeah, he's the guy who called, but
why
it doesn't mean he murdered anyone. He didn't murder anyone.
What was his motive?
He's a red herring.
He wanted attention.
He wanted to give a red herring to the detective. Like to make him like a better detective.
He doesn't have any real motivation. It's just the screenplay is forcing him to do that.
Okay, I see. Yeah. But what is his reason?
But he's crazy
in the screenplay.
Oh, he's crazy too.
He's like an
pathological liar.
Guy. Yeah.
Oh, it's because they're all like just really intense dance people.
I think the detective says that. He's like, dancers are crazy.
Yeah, he literally says something like that, and he goes, somebody goes, man, these dancers are crazy. And he goes, all of them are. All dancers are. I'm like,
it's weirdly anti-dancer movie.
Like,
a dancer herd.
Don't get me started, you fucking dancer.
My wife left me for Patrick Swayze after seeing that freaking dumbass dance movie. All dancers are crazy.
My girlfriend in high school was a dancer.
Dancing?
She was pretty...
nuts,
exhausting. She was
ballerina,
intense, and emotional.
She was just dancing around you.
Jazz tap.
I think she was. I don't know. Jazz.
Interpretive.
Modern.
She was a dancer at a strip club.
In high school. She was into that. She loved dance.
I've dated high school girls.
In high school, I hope.
They're the craziest.
That's cool, man.
Sure.
Were you in high school?
No, dude, I was in elementary school. High school. You know how I roll.
Your babysitter?
Like a high school girl dating a little kid. Like an 8-year-old boy.
Like we're waiting till he's 18, but we make out.
But that's going to be 10 years, so.
It's very charismatic. It's kind of like a younger version of when a teacher fucks like a 13-year-old kid.
The babysitter's fucking the baby.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
She's like, dude. I just love him. He's mature.
The old nanny, the 65, 65-year-old nanny's fucking the newborn.
Yeah.
The old 2-year-old.
Oh man.
That's gross. There's probably people that do that.
Adam, how would you feel if you walked in on your son laying on the floor on its back, just helpless, infant son, 6 weeks old, and then just a rotund 45-year-old woman is just like riding him.
Reverse, dude. No, she's it's doggy style. She's on all fours and he's just behind her. So it's like not even. It's like
then that's him like getting into it. Yeah,
you're like no,
and he's just whipping his hand.
You can do better, son. You can do better.
I don't want to, make my son. You don't want to get hard over this for my son, but if he's into it. But
you're gonna have to have this talk eventually. Get ready for parenthood. Are you guys gonna do?
That would be shocking. Didn't we talk about this?
Did we? I think so.
Are you gonna do what?
I don't know. We don't know.
Santa Claus.
You're not in. This is hilarious. Is this like the new liberal yuppie thing? We're not gonna do Santa Claus.
No, I mean,
it's like
it's not new. I feel like since high school we've been talking about kids and I other kids be like, I'm not going to tell my kid. But no, I'm saying is what are you going to tell your kid? What would you do if you walked in and you saw Santa Claus on all fours and your son was just raw dogging him?
I'd be like, all right, I guess Santa's real. My son.
That's what blows your mind.
Yeah. Damn, I was just about to tell him that Santa wasn't real.
Shit, Santa's real. And he's
fucking
gay?
Santa. Yeah.
You just sit down and you're eating milk and cookies watching it. It's so a tear dribbling down your eye. But then Santa Claus gets up, walks out the front door, gets in a Ford Taurus and drives away. You're like, what the fuck?
Wait, was that Santa?
God damn it, I got tricked.
Yeah.
Your kid's smoking a cig, 2 years old, smoking a cig under the...
Yeah.
After raw dogging old Saint Nick.
Yeah, I mean, that would be different than me walking in and finding an old rotund woman riding him and him laying. What if your kid does lay out like that on his play mat? That's just how he's there.
He just spreads out.
Yeah. But if I left the room for a little bit, I came back and
30 seconds, like a crazy
from the Drew Carey show was
yes, exactly. Mimi
was
curls,
just going to town. That would
what
be
if upsetting. What if your son becomes a dancer? Would you make him watch this movie?
Yeah, just to be like, hey, this is what could happen to you.
Precautionary tale.
Yeah, you could get murder rocked.
Yeah, why is it called Murder Rock?
Because it has a cool rock soundtrack with all the cool rock music.
It's like murder-rock. So
I thought it was going to be about
the genre of music or something.
Going into it, I thought it was going to be about some ancient burial ground that this school was built on, and that's why murder. I was literally thinking like a cliff or a rock. You're picturing a rock, a landmark.
I thought it was going to be a rock-based thing too, because of the title.
I wasn't picturing like a rock rolling around murdering people.
Well, it had a few other titles. I think it was also called Flashdance, which is a really good title. But
that's way better.
But I think they got sued or something, and they were like, "We can't do that." Another name is "The Demon Is Loose," which is just a horrible name.
And there's not even demons in it.
No.
That one girl in a wheelchair is pretty weird, though. She's kind of like a creepy person.
Oh, yeah. Who was that? Somebody's nanny. Somebody was just nannying her, right?
Yeah, one of the girls is babysitting her.
Paralyzed?
Yeah. And the girl has a paralyzed brother, or like a crippled brother.
Who became a photographer and caught one of the murders on camera. And it was just an awful shot. Like
it's just a close up of the jacket. It was not the angle she was standing at all. Or like she's up. It's totally it's totally fake.
What I was wondering is, so she gives up. That kid gives was it the boy kid? The paralyzed kid gives the footage to the cops.
No, the girl, the cop says he interrogated her for 2 hours before she gave up the photos. He's just like beating her, like, come on, give me the photos. Or she's just giving him the runaround.
She's like an autistic girl or something. Or
no,
like,
I mean,
something like,
just had an attitude. Yeah, was just playing.
No, she's like kind of like not autistic, but she's like, she has like something wrong. She's demented. She's looking at slide photographs of insects.
Yeah,
in the dark.
She's one of those bug kids.
Yeah, she's a bug kid.
But then, so whatever, they get the footage, and it's 3 photos on the slide. The first 2 are just like self-portraits or family photos.
They're like little kids, and the cop is like,
oh, God, looks like our murderer. He makes a joke where he's like, looks like our murderer.
Yeah.
A little younger than I expected.
Yeah. And then it gets to the photo, and it's like a close-up of the leather jacket. Just with torso shot. And
it's not the commissioner of the school guy who was there at the moment the murder happened and they arrested. But then they're like, oh, I guess he's not the killer.
And he was running from the crime scene. And when they caught him, he was like, I got there and she was dead.
And it was just like all the other murders.
Yeah. When they see the picture of the thing of like the vest or whatever, the one detective's like, oh, it can't be him because he always wears a suit and tie.
Yeah, but it's like,
and they're like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah,
but this is a coat.
Check that one off.
A zipped up, buttoned up coat that could easily cover a suit and tie. But then they're like, yeah, so at least what we got out of this was we know it's not him. And then they take the slide out, but then the detective goes, wait a minute. And he puts it in reversed, or not inverted.
But there is nothing like...
What did he see?
There's nothing to tell him to reverse it. He just does it.
It's his detective instincts.
But if he had like a label or something written that you could tell was backwards, and he's like, oh, the slide is backwards, or the slide is reversed.
But what did he see when he reversed it?
He could see the buttons were going the other way.
So it was a woman's jacket.
Nice.
Oh, because it was zoomed in on the buttons, and I was like, okay.
I know. They should have had to like text, but I guess they couldn't do text because, or a label.
They could have made up a company.
Well, it's an international film, so they have to release it in multiple countries, or they're just fucking lazy. I mean,
it could have been like an animal, an image of an animal, like Polo does, or
you can't use a logo that's famous.
No, that's what I'm saying. Just make up just put an animal on there and then have
they can't
make up.
Wait, why?
Because they're lazy.
He had no. It
should have been a Nike logo.
Wait,
that's what I mean. So that you knew it was backwards.
Yeah, but isn't it a better observation for the detective to be like, wait a minute, this is backwards, but it's like a man, it's not a woman.
How would he know?
How would he know? He just had an instinct. That's what we're saying. If there was a logo or words and it was reverse, he'd be like, oh, we're looking at the picture backwards, and he corrected it. But he just had a hunch.
It wasn't supposed to be like in a mirror or something like that? A reflection of in a mirror?
No, I don't know. No, he just had a hunch to flip I don't think you're following.
Yeah, you didn't. You got to pay attention, man.
But also, how could he prove that the jacket was, you could just flip it back and forth because there is no logo?
Correct. There is no reason for him to know it's reversed.
But then there's also, even if it was reversed, it's...
He's a really good detective.
He goes, the detective goes, it's a woman's jacket. And the other guy goes, no. And then he flips it back around. It's not. And he goes, no, but if I flip it this way, it's a woman's jacket. There's no proof that it was a woman's jacket.
Nice.
And she also took like hundreds of photos of him, of the girl like getting probably her top ripped off, probably the needle going in. And she's just clicking away.
And all they have is that one really close up angle or photo of the vest
with perfectly lit.
Yeah. From like straight on.
Yeah.
Not like
from
the upper
like
angle.
almost a POV of the person getting murdered.
Yeah.
Fulci doesn't sweat the small stuff, okay? It's all about the big picture. Well, it's all about the titty shots. 30 minutes of this movie in total was close-ups of one single boob. What did you think of the audition dance sequence of the one girl dancing by herself?
The Flashdance one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like close-ups of her crotch, of her ass. Just like
I liked it.
Her midriff. Yeah.
I liked it.
They're just like, she's a great dancer. She's going to go really far.
They're just drooling.
I thought it was saying that she was like dancing at a unsavory club, and that's why she was the next to get killed.
But she's also one of the more talented students. That's why she's getting killed.
Yeah, but in the movie language, they're like, that's the horror movie thing, is like once they do something illicit or
right
illicit, then that's what they get killed.
Seedy.
Like justified. It's like the movie justifying it in
sinful.
Well, they were in a seedy
movie.
they were in a bad part of town.
Yeah,
of course that's going to happen.
Horror movies are never about just a great guy getting killed. It's always about bad people doing bad, being bad, and then getting killed. It's not about how often are horror movies about like?
Have you seen Get Out? Have you seen?
Like slasher movies, I guess.
Ryan,
well, that's the first one that came to mind.
Come on,
what else? Like American Psycho, I guess. If you want to talk about hookers being bad people,
I'm talking about slasher movies.
Is it American Psycho, not a slasher?
Come on, Willie, go, William.
What?
A slasher where a normal good person is getting killed.
Tell me what you think about that.
They don't have, in those movies where the good person is killed, they typically don't have multiple victims. It's usually like one person is killed.
Okay.
Yeah, the movies with multiple victims.
Like Laura Palmer, and then you find out they're prostitutes on the side or something.
Yeah. But like in a slasher movie, that's the formula is like kids go like drink and then.
But I don't think prostitutes are bad people.
Then they get killed. That's like the setup.
But we're talking about conservative values, which is.
Let's talk about the movies that are made,
Well, the other thing about these movies is that the reason why they have so much sex and it's okay to kill them, it's because they sin.
Yeah.
And then
very conservative.
Also,
that's fucked up. They should be rewarded for having sex.
It probably was like
it should show them in go-karts or something after that.
Just having the best time of their life.
At a batting cage, just just having a good time.
Or like a girl is like a prude and like she won't go down on a guy, and then she gets killed afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good
only people who don't have sex.
He's like, get out of my car then, and she's just left on the side of the road and just murdered.
Yeah.
Well, do you think they make that so it's like people watching aren't so upset that the people are getting killed?
Yeah.
It makes it a little easier to see somebody get killed in the viewer's eyes.
There's not like the slasher movies don't have like a sense of like misery with the kills and stuff. It's more like,
well,
you don't feel like sad.
They used to.
You're not sad.
The original ones do. So like Last House on the Left or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they're pretty innocent.
House, is that with like the crazy siblings that have never left their house? That's like
that's a lot of horror movies. Last House on the Left is about two girls who go hitchhiking and they go to New York and then they get murdered by like psychopaths, like drug addict psychopaths. So the early slasher movies, the early horror movies like this, they're more realistic. They're more based on like true life, like Charles Manson types, serial killer types. But then as the genre evolved to like Friday the 13th and Halloween, that's when they become
about those douchey teens getting murdered.
Yeah.
They become more of the bad kids, and like Jamie Lee Curtis or the girl at the end of Friday the 13th, they're the good kids.
Yeah, because I mean,
Nightmare on Elm Street. She's a they evolve into final girls, and they become.
But they're the virgins or whatever.
They become they're the virgins.
Yeah.
But in the early ones, in like the early 70s, they're more like raw. But also, there's also 60s movies that are like slashers and like people getting killed one by one where they're bad. So
I'd like to rewatch.
It's a common trope.
Massacre, and I haven't seen the Last House on the Left, but
yeah, I mean Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a bunch of draft dodgers, right?
They're like hippies.
Yeah,
but they're like, see, that's what I'm saying.
They literally burn their like their draft thing and throw it out the window as just before their car breaks in front of.
That's like a version of.
And the new one or the old one?
They're bad people. I don't remember which one. I've seen all of them, but I don't remember which one.
I don't remember that, but
it might be from the Rob Zombie one or whatever the new one was then.
Yeah, the Michael Bay produced one, whatever that was.
The Michael directed that. Was it actually Michael Bay?
Yeah, he produced that.
Rob Zombie.
He also produced He produced the Nightmare on Elm Street remake
with the guy that plays Rorschach and The Watchmen.
Yeah, Jackie Earle Haley's in that one. Rooney Mara's in that one. It's pretty boring. It should have been good. I mean, the director is like Samuel Bayer.
Dope.
What's a good modern movie like that? Like a remake of a horror movie.
The Hills Have Eyes remake is probably the best remake because it's even better than it's the original.
I think I saw that actually.
When was the original one? Is there an original one that I didn't in high school? I watched like
from the 70s.
Oh, so the
original's from the 70s.
Okay, that one I hated that one. We watched that in like high school as like a novelty It's just too rapey, man.
The Hills Have Guys.
They don't rape anyone in that movie.
Yeah, they do. The first girl, or the first person.
I guess they did rape her, but they raped his sister, and then they take the young mother. They shoot her in the head. There's an interview with the killer from that movie. He's like a character actor. There's a documentary about character actors, and he's talking about like he was so upset shooting that movie, and he just like, I won't watch it. I hate that movie. I'm ashamed of my daughter that I'm in that movie
because it's too graphic and shit.
It's just gross, man. It's like is the story that good? No, it's just literally a bunch of kids getting raped by like inbred Down syndrome people.
Yeah, that sounds.
That's cool.
Like
I really like that movie. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I know you're weird,
you do. For
like
real?
I mean, it's effective. Like you're just saying the movie works too well.
That's what
you don't want to see that.
No,
but
it has a selective audience,
and
a selective audience is normally people I don't want to be around.
It's a huge hit. Very popular.
Ryan,
movie.
I've seen it a couple times.
It's a mainstream movie.
It's a shock movie.
Ryan, you're very prejudiced against
released by Fox Studios.
Like horror things, I think.
No, I know that. I'm not saying it's like. I just don't. It's like we would watch it as like a shock.
Yeah, that's why people watch it.
To make
it's
us
like going on a roller coaster.
But no, then there's people probably like William that are just like, oh, this is cool.
I'm laughing.
Yeah. Oh, we laugh too. We would laugh because that's all you can do.
I love it
because it's so uncomfortable. But then you're probably watching it and not feeling uncomfortable. That is the weird part. Now it's
I feel uncomfortable.
Well, not aroused.
Uncomfortable that you can't do it.
I was like, I saw that movie in Times Square in New York City.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
And like the audience was going fucking crazy. And then at the end of the movie,
see, it'd be a good one to see in theaters for sure.
Yeah, because at the end of the movie. The young husband whose wife was killed, he gets revenge on all the zombie mutant people. And there were these two black girls sitting in front of us, just jumping up in the air with their arms. Like, yeah, he's killing them. Like, it was such a fun movie.
Yeah, that sounds great. It was like a full theater.
Yeah. And like, because the attack is so visceral and painful. And also those directors or the director, he's French, and he was just like, there was a big thing with like French extreme horror back then. And also there was a big thing in America of like torture porn.
Yeah.
But like, it's all because of 9/11. That's why those movies were so intense in the early 2000s. After 9/11, it was just like anything goes. No one cares. Like, let's just make really
it was like a more intense, like darker.
That shit to me though is like
plus war was going on. The Iraq war was happening.
Yeah,
I see a lot of people that are like. I see a lot of people that are like super into those kinds of movies, and it's like almost. It's like it
they're like
has the same effect as people that are into like tentacle hentai porn. You just want to see a bunch of mutilated zombies rape somebody in every movie, and then I get you do because you're not one of those people, but
don't you think it's no different than like Passion of the Christ, which is a movie that came out?
Oh yeah, that one was
same year.
I hated that one.
Yeah, it was like a
and do you think that? And that's like
dark time.
mainstream American Christians are crying at that movie and like making it a huge hit. They're like, church is literally busing people to see it. Like, this is
I thought they hated it.
This is not like an unheard of element of human history and storytelling. It's called what the fuck? It's a Greek word.
When something really bad happens,
cathartic. It's called catharsis.
But like with Passion of the Christ. With Passion of the Christ, that's like real, like you're getting whipped. So you're saying what somebody getting whipped would actually look like.
12 Years a Slave is like that too.
There's no inbred zombie mutants, right? Like it's fantastical on that regard.
Yeah, but on every side of culture, it was dark. Like nu metal. These are all like nu metal sort of qualities.
Yeah.
I mean, Irreversible, Korn, they're the same thing. Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, they're fucking awful. Hills Have Eyes.
Slipknot.
Stained.
I've told you I'm an empathetic viewer, and when I see just somebody helplessly getting raped, I just hate it. It just makes me so uncomfortable.
But don't you think it's better?
Either.
Don't you think it's better when it's actually emotionally effective and not?
And then
it's like Murder Rock,
and you watch the person murder somebody, like the people get revenge or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Because like in Murder Rock, these are like very stylish. I mean, this is more pornographic and more.
I don't really like it unless it's like about like I can appreciate like Come and See or something like that. Like I can appreciate like something that's really visceral, and about like something that's like real or like, you know, some sort of tragedy that you're trying to like trying to like comprehend and experience yourself and stuff.
Some tragedy you're lying about, like Come and See. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
those Russian soldiers aren't innocent. Okay, they did some pretty bad shit too.
But like that, I could see that. I see the value in like putting yourself through that. But otherwise, like I get like it like bums me out to see like torture porn shit. Like,
I feel like rape is such an easy way to show like it's one of the most vulnerable probably situations a human could be in, and humiliating, vulnerable, violent, whatever. It almost seems like a cop out for a filmmaker where you could show the same powerlessness, like in this is going to be the only thing I can think of. Is it Saving Private Ryan, that knife scene? The guy fighting on the stairs? Like that shows like complete empowerment. So just, you could be a little more creative.
What if these aren't
having a bunch of dummies raping somebody?
What if these aren't talented filmmakers? What do they do?
Oh, but they have Sony, and they have all this budget, and they have all this money, and I don't care.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, these aren't talented filmmakers.
The Hills Have Eyes is not a talented filmmaker.
That's his best movie, and nothing he's made since has been as good. And then like Hostel, Eli Roth
was talking about that too. I never saw that one.
Eli Roth is not.
I thought
that's as good as he can get. Like, the thing I like about genre movies is that
you didn't see the new Keanu Reeves one
with
the Eli Roth Keanu Reeves.
I've seen that.
What was that?
What's it called?
Knock Knock. Yeah, I saw Knock Knock.
I think the way I watched it together, William.
Remake of Death Game, but the thing is,
Death Game.
These guys aren't talented. So like what you're talking about all goes back to Last House on the Left. And that movie, that's like the ultimate portrait of this. That has the most brutal murder scene of any character. And it was so horrific.
What is it? I've never seen it.
It's like a more protracted version of Last House or of Hills Have Eyes, where these two girls are picked up by these like drug addict criminal guys. They're tortured. They're like humiliated,
raped,
sexually assaulted, then finally murdered and just like killed, like shot in the head. And then the killers are stranded, and then they end up at the parents' house of the victim, and then the parents get the revenge on them. It's actually a remake of an Ingmar Bergman movie called Virgin Spring, but it's super intense. It's super painful to watch. But the general theory of the movie is that it was because of the Vietnam War, and there was all this like brutal shit going on. And there was like, of course, the Manson killings, that it was like a response to the reality. So while Hills Have Eyes, Hostel, and all those fucking Saw, all those movies were like really intense, it's because there's some really intense shit happening in the world that people can't process. So
yeah, like it's well, also like horror movies, the function of them in a society is to be like to put.
Okay,
to
well,
be the,
I was processing it, so I didn't like Hills Have Eyes.
to be the
that for an outlet.
To be the like extreme like experience of something for a culture. It's like, yeah, to be like the most scary type of horror that a culture will consume. It's like it's on the fringes of what it is itself. So if you get like, if it gets more dark or whatever of a time, horror gets darker. Because
right, and also the other thing is,
I'm just saying
I have a high time,
and it's also
I know you're not a fan.
Everybody likes their genres. I'm not hating on.
But the other thing is that's interesting. The really interesting thing about Hills Have Eyes, though, is that it is not an underground movie like Last House on the Left. It's not this like movie made by maniacs with no overseeing, no budget, no like. It's not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is a movie made by Fox Studios. It's a mainstream horror film. And
Fox
it's
has always been edgy, though.
Yeah,
hey, you ever see The Simpsons or
children?
Seinfeld, Friends?
It all started with that.
Seinfeld's NBC.
Children of
Married with Children.
Children of Men. Married with
Married Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Married Children.
Al Bundy
is the last man.
That would be awesome.
With a baby.
He's got to transport Christina Applegate. This is a great idea for a movie.
Married Children of Men.
Married Children with Men.
Married Children.
So he's just bitching the whole time about it.
Yeah, I like Married Children of Men.
Peg Bundy gets shot in a car. He's sad.
Yeah,
but it's filmed so well.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
filmed like a sitcom.
Marriages of children. So you guys were just talking about like child marriages.
No, the show Married with Children of Men.
Yeah.
Married with Children of Men. Or it's just Clive Owen, just like listening to Love and Marriage.
Yeah, with his hands on his
crying.
I was going to say, like, if like the War on Terror or whatever is like, or if like those movies are darker and stuff. I just saw like a horror movie this time, and it's like, or like that came out this year, and it was like the movie Freaky. I know one of the guys.
Come on, dude, give me a fucking break.
No, what I'm saying is that is like overly punchy and like stuff. It's like kind of it's not real. It has like a surreal quality to the gore, like violence parts to it.
It's a comedy,
sure, but like the kills and stuff are like violent, but in ways that are like punchy and like look really good, and they're not like brutal.
It doesn't look good, in my opinion. It looks stupid.
Well, it looks like
they freeze a guy.
It looks like polished
in a PE class, in a PE gym. They freeze a guy with one of those cryogenic freezers, and he falls out and shatters into a million pieces.
Oh yeah, that scene is a lot.
I mean, it's an incredibly lame movie.
But there's a lot of brutal stuff at the beginning, I would say, or like violent things at the beginning. But it's not done in a brutal way. It's not done in a brutal way. These modern modern horror movies are like have like that studio polish on it with like punching it, even though they have to deliver some thrill. So it's like it's violent, but it's not violent in a way that really makes you feel like kind of like bummed.
It's gory in quotation marks.
Yeah, it's like catchy and snappy gore.
Like when people get shot.
That's the time that we live in, I think. Yeah, or no, like there's violence in the kills, but they're not like they're not like pitiful.
There's no impact because the characters are dumb. And
it doesn't feel like super real. It's like too slick.
It's sassy horror.
That's kind of what we live in now. Yeah,
that's what. I know you really want this to get going, Adam, but that's not the world we live in.
No. What are other modern horror movies?
This Donald Trump guy, man, he just watch Freaky. That just tells you everything you need to know about modern day America.
The kills in Freaky are like common to modern horror movie kills.
What is Freaky?
Like it's done.
It's the one where Vince Vaughn, and it's like the Rob Schneider hot chick movie, but it's Vince Vaughn and the girl and the killer switch bodies.
It's like Freaky Friday.
Yeah, it sucks.
No, it's
Adam liked it because he's just bored and he's just watching a movie for free and he's just like, oh well, it's.
Oh, it's literally playing on Freaky Friday.
Yeah, it's Freaky Friday. It's a comedy and it's a parody and it has no impact and it's not good.
It's a late night.
I think it's good.
Get high watch. Yeah. Looks like.
Ryan, you would probably like the movie, but
I don't know. It looks a little too freaky.
Studio movies these days are just like they're polished and feel similar. They all feel similar and like
they're all reboots.
I don't know, like
they feel slick.
Yeah, they all feel slick and a similar.
I mean, are Blumhouse movies really studio movies?
No, that's like a co-production though with like Universal, I think.
You know what I mean?
But
I'm gonna go get a beer. Adam, go off.
I'm gonna take a piss.
All right.
Adam, you talk in the microphone.
Okay. So yeah, like I think all the kills are really in movies these days. We live in a glossy time, and life is surreal. Modern life is surreal when you think about it. So that's it. Ryan's coming back.
I mean, we're doing superhero movies, so why are superhero? I mean, modern life is not as surreal as it's always been surreal, I guess. But we're living in superhero movies. Like, what's going on in the world that is eliciting all these superhero movies?
The deep state.
If 9/11 was the cause of Hills Have Eyes, what is causing the Avengers? And I'm not trying to be cheeky.
No,
the Marvel movies
9/11 did cause superhero movies because you have to remember superhero movies started with Spider-Man, which is a post 9/11 film.
Started with Blade.
Yeah.
Not
Blade
the modern trend. Not the modern trend.
It blew up because of Spider-Man and X-Men after that.
Blade is the first Marvel-produced film, right?
Not the first one, but on that level, on that budget.
Can you fix it?
Isn't it the first one they produced?
It's your chair, okay.
I'm trying to get it so I can lean. I got one of those chairs that's like a five-star wheels.
Catches you, yeah. I hate when you can't get it to lean.
I'm just trying to lean.
Yeah.
Superhero movies touch on a couple things, like people are immature, people are
honestly
they're like baby people like Adam. They don't
because there's nobody getting raped by
exactly only good movies.
Superhero movies are like,
they're honest.
Superhero movies are like Marvel movies are, I've read that they're like written,
they're fascist,
they're they're like made
pro-cop,
with the coordination of like the U.S. military.
Whoa, man!
Dude. Most of the Marvel movies,
propaganda. You know what I'm saying?
Propaganda,
or it's just like huge money makers. But
it's like big corporations like work and like, so it's like it's not pushing the fringes of anything. It's like reinforcing.
Dude, what about Deadpool though, bro?
Yeah, that turns it on.
Y'all forgot about Deadpool.
That turns it on its head.
Well, the other thing is like the U.S. military started working with movie studios in the 80s, like Top Gun or Red Scorpion. That movie's produced by like literal neocons.
Scorpion King, yeah.
Red Scorpion?
No, he's thinking of the Scorpion King, starring Dwayne The Rock, is what he's thinking of.
That's the first superhero movie.
Neo-Nazis made it.
Bob Dole produced it to help his 96 presidential campaign.
The Scorpion King?
The Scorpion King, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I'm not a fan of those. I'm not a fan of the Mummy movies. I hate to break all your hearts.
I like Brendan Fraser,
dude.
I'm more of an Airheads guy.
And Brendan Fraser. You like Brendan Fraser?
I love Brendan Fraser.
Dang.
Monkey Bone.
I've been watching Doom Patrol on HBO, and he's great.
Oh, it's a show he's in.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in ages.
What about that movie where he's a Jew in school and they all hate him?
The Caveman movie?
School ties.
Encino Man, they're just like, this fucking Jewish caveman, get him out of here.
Jewish caveman.
Just wanted to party, dude.
What?
Oh, the horror movie that is the horror movie today that most responds to our culture is generally agreed to be like the Purge movies.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good call.
You know
Anarchy.
what I'm saying? Fucking, it's got it all, dude.
Do those have kills?
Elites.
Like I was saying?
I don't know. I don't watch that shit.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen one of them.
My friend Casey really likes the Purge movies.
They're
Apparently
probably fun.
Purge Anarchy is supposed to be the cool one.
Isn't it just like Saw, like as far as gore goes?
I have no idea.
Well, why don't you find out?
I remember the first Saw movie was tight.
The first Saw movie? No, the one with Chris Rock looks cool.
Whatever, Adam.
Oh yeah, the newest one,
so?
right?
I thought it looked like it had a good tone.
I like Chris Rock, and I'd like to see him as like a serious detective going against a serial killer, though.
You don't think so?
Man, what is up with this?
That's a pretty good.
And they say in Murder Rock, every voice is unique. I thought Chris Rock freaking entered this Zoom chat.
Oh yeah, what's the
You got black people and you got Jigsaw.
Let me tell you something.
Jigsaw. Jigsaw. He always triples up everything.
Oh yeah.
He's a genius.
The quote that ends Murder Rock. Often crime is a distorted form of human endeavor. That's fun.
Say it funny, again. Your hand was over your mouth.
You're like, put your whole hand is in your mouth like a baby.
You literally had.
He's just like fist fucking his own face.
I was not fist fucking my own face.
Say it again.
I was tugging on my mustache. Often crime is a distorted form of human endeavor. John Huston, The Asphalt Jungle.
What does that even mean?
Oh. Yeah, it really makes you think.
No, what does that even mean? What's human endeavor? Is we just want to be criminals?
Like
I've seen The Asphalt Jungle. I don't remember this line. I've seen Murder Rock. I don't even remember this line.
Yeah, you really don't see us.
Watched Murder Rock like 2 hours ago.
You don't see it coming.
I mean, ever since Lady Terminator, intros and outros have never been as good as Lady Terminator in the movies that I've watched with you.
Yeah,
right.
The movie's awesome.
Literally, it was like epic intro, like an epic intro paragraph monologue thing, voiceover. That's the word, and then it closed it down with another. I don't remember what it was, but it's
very poetic. I remember.
I mean, I got a little weepy.
Yeah,
there are better movies than Lady Terminator. Trust me.
Oh,
I believe you.
You got to watch a lot of crap, though.
Yeah.
Then I'm just not gonna. I'll stick to.
I can show you a better movie than Lady Terminator, like this.
William is a good person to you. This is what he's good for.
This is the kind of garbage I watch.
Making you watch a bunch of shitty movies.
No, he's wasted his life watching shitty.
Oh, movies. He's already waited through.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, so what's the stuff that's worth watching?
Well, I haven't seen one yet. It's been,
Lady Terminator is a fucking
time
banger.
I watched a movie with y'all.
It's a really good move not watching TV shows as much, or watching more as a kid, watching movies instead of TV shows. If you do that young, and
I think this
watch a lot of TV though. Don't get me wrong.
It's a different time, but
As far as the few 5 movies that I've watched with y'all, this one was visually the best. Like the direction and all those shots were pretty badass.
Yeah. His other movies
He's a very visual director. Yeah, like
the intro with all the beatboxing and subway scenes. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, that was probably the best directed part.
He definitely has movies that if you watch, Ryan, you would be disgusted and you would turn off.
Because of the content or the visuals?
The content. The New York Ripper is way more fucked up than this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch these movies. It's never made me be like, oh, this is entertaining. Whenever I see like somebody torturing a dog. Usually dogs getting killed, and I don't even care that much about dogs, but like dogs getting killed and rape scenes make me feel the most uncomfortable. And I think that's why John Wick was so successful in my world, because then you're like, this is the kind of revenge I want. I don't want to see some group of 5 get raped. One of them gets raped by 3 different Hills Have Eyes peoples, and then it takes 90 minutes of more people getting murdered by these Hills Have Eye guys, and then one guy kills a couple of them. That's not satisfying to me. That's like, oh, the Hills Have Eyes people won. Like, they won even if he kills them all. Whereas John Wick's murdering 99 people in the first movie.
Well, it's crowd pleasing. Movie's a very crowd pleasing movie.
It's like a Budweiser commercial.
That's a genre, the crowd pleasing genre as well.
If you like to watch a bad movie
genre,
it's boring, full of cartoonish characters with gold coins who hang out at the Hitman nightclub.
That shit is awesome, dude.
It's like, whoa, this is pretty interesting.
John Wick movies are awesome.
Firing rocket launchers into churches or whatever.
That's awesome.
It's like a laser tag game. It's like playing like a really intense game of laser tag. That's what the John Wick
I was bored by the end of the first John Wick movie, which is why I refused to watch the sequel.
The second and the third are dope.
I don't remember the second like hitting me that.
I don't care.
You can't watch one more actually good movie after you watch 90,000 shitty movie. Like, come on.
I like these movies better,
dude. You hate Keanu. I said suck.
I love Keanu. Okay. I've seen more Keanu Reeves movies than you have.
Doubt it.
Have you seen Bill and Ted? Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I spent $13 on it.
Got you there, Ryan.
Ever heard of it?
$13 on it 6 months ago.
Hold on a second.
Scare.
There's a sequel. So Bill and Ted.
Yeah, 40 years later.
That's cool.
All right. Have you ever seen? We try to pull an obscure one out of my head. You ever seen the Matrix
Coca-Cola
Revolutions?
His first ever appearance on TV, the Coca-Cola commercial he did over in Canada. Seen it.
Matrix 3.
Nice.
I haven't even heard of that. Now you're just making shit up.
Sorry.
One time I got lunch with Keanu.
That's cool. Is he a nice guy?
You didn't believe it at all.
Who cut the monkey's head? Which one of you cut the monkey's head off?
He was working.
I'm trying to go with the bit.
He was the one that
he's like, oh, yeah, you want to cut the monkey's head off, or shall I do it?
Always Be My Maybe. Have you seen that one?
I saw that with my girlfriend. He has a big cameo in that film.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch Always Be My Maybe, but you can't watch the John Wick sequels.
Yeah. You can watch Knock Knock, but you can't watch the John Wick sequels.
I like Knock Knock.
It was not great. I watched it with my parents thinking it was going to be a little more cheeky than it was. I enjoyed it more than my parents did.
You weren't like me where you're like, wait a minute, is this a remake of Death Game? And then you got very excited.
What is Death Game?
Very obscure movie with Seymour Cassell and...
this very obscure movie? No, I don't know. It's so obscure. What do you mean I know?
Who's it? Is it Sally Kirkland? And it's the maid from Clue. It's Knock Knock, but Colleen Camp. Yeah.
And it's about two babes come in and ruin a person's life.
Rare Colleen Camp nudity. Little Mr. Skin trivia. Coming soon to Blu-ray from Grindhouse.
William Skin. Oh, sorry. I was
Adam
Mr. Skin for a second.
Adam was just doing Basic Instinct in front of us, crossing and uncrossing his legs.
just trying to readjust.
I'll watch what is it called? Anyway, Daybreak?
Date movie.
Daybreak?
The one where he's like...
Is that what it's called? I'll watch that.
Daybreak. You mean Death Game?
No, Death Game. Daybreak's a movie, though?
Daybreak's a cool title for a movie, dude.
Isn't that like Sylvester Stallone?
It sounds like that.
That has to be a title for a movie. Like, I feel like anything like that has been a title.
It's a great title.
It's a television program.
I'm not saying it's the greatest title of all time.
Oh, Daybreak is that Netflix series where all parents are zombies and...
Oh, well, that's pretty new, I guess.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I thought it was
like sassy horror.
Named. Yeah, it's like sassy horror.
There's no movie, though.
I mean, it's for women, right? It's more for more.
It's for like teenagers.
Yeah, for sure. Freaky's definitely like a movie that you see in like you go see in like middle school.
That's why Adam likes it.
Maybe.
All right. So how many stars do we give Murder Rock? Let's all give it a rating. I went with 3.5.
I'd say probably 4, just mostly because of the directing.
I mean, this. I don't know. I feel like this movie is so close to be. Well, I think this movie is funny to watch. Like, especially like the detective scenes. Like,
I like the directing. I don't like better,
I think
I don't like the screenplay, and
no,
it's not the most interesting script.
I know a lot about this director. I've seen a lot of his movies, so I rank a lot of his other movies higher. Like Gates of Hell, The Zombie, of course. Beyond.
He was definitely talented. Like I could see that this guy was good at what he does, and this was probably a paycheck.
He's such a good director.
New York Ripper's better.
Just the script. If the script was better, then it would be like an amazing movie. I think because it'd be like it's really well done.
Plus,
but it's just like
he's coming off New York Ripper,
really watchable,
which is in New York, which is very similar, and it's a much better screenplay. There's way more. The red herrings and like the false climaxes work so much better in New York Ripper. Like there's there's way more misdirection. This is pretty fucking lazy.
It seemed like it was kind of phoned in. I'd read it. I mean, I'd read the novel. You know, if there was like a
graphic novel.
No, I'd read if it was like 140 page. You know,
you don't know how to read.
Well, I'd get somebody to read it to me.
Like a scholastic children's book, like in the book fair. It's like Murder Rock.
Yeah.
Coming soon to a movie. Coming soon to
like a young. If it was like a young adult.
YA.
Yeah. R.L. Stein illustrations.
Wrote it. Choose your own.
I'm more of a Christopher Pike person than an R.L. Stein person. But
who's Pike?
He wrote a lot of those shitty scholastic book fair books, like The Last Vampire, and they're like erotic soap operas for girls.
Oh, so that's why you liked them?
My favorite one was called Master Murder, and it was like a guy who was in high school, and he was like a famous author, but no one knew. And he wrote a Twin Peaks style mystery series.
That actually sounds interesting.
Based on a real murder at his high school.
Would you guys be pissed if you had a daughter and she started dating R.L. Stein?
Yeah, no. Because who is R.L. Stein and how old?
He's and R.L.'s dead.
He's the Goosebumps.
Yeah, but
guy.
That's a pseudonym, right? Who is R.L. Stein? Really?
I think it's
really Stein.
No, R.L. Stein just died, right?
He did?
Don't say that.
Like Anna Nicole Smith married that old
years.
guy. Maybe that's a young woman. He's
alive.
R.L.
He's 77 years old.
Anna Nicole
Smith. I'd be upset if my daughter. If I had a daughter now, that means it would be like, 13, 15 years till they actually start dating. Like going to
I mean like you have an 18-year-old daughter. You have an 18-year-old daughter now.
Dude, this guy's got a giant mole. You should Google what he looks like. He has a mole in the middle of his forehead, like Dr. Manhattan.
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough.
Oh, wow, he didn't age well.
Wow, you're right. Man,
his mouth is smiling, but not his eyes.
I would get it taken off. I would get that taken off.
No, it's part of his mystery.
Scars are cool.
Christian Bale and Obama, it's like, you guys, you got to get rid of the mole on the nose. The Christian Bale one is so distracting.
Christian Bale and Obama both had moles on their noses. Yeah.
Christian Bale's is on his eye. Yeah, on his inner eye, and it's like he must be able to see it.
Yeah, that's insane. That's why he can achieve such intense focus as an actor.
Oh, geez.
He's just focusing on his mole.
That's part of his thing, though.
It's his trademark.
That's like
Cindy Crawford's mole.
Or from Sex and the City. She got hers removed. Sarah Jessica Parker got hers removed, and it just doesn't work.
Of course.
That was her thing.
Yeah.
Obama has a mole?
Yeah.
Where? Am I looking?
The tip of his penis. If he's gone down on him,
I'm looking at those photos.
On his nose, right? Doesn't he have a mole on his nostril?
Barack.
Yeah, I think you're right. Or did he? No, he does. It's you can't see it from a lot of angles, I think.
On where? I'm not.
It's on his nose. Obama mole nose.
Google but I mean, that's in a crevice.
That's just how your brain works.
So the shadow kind of hides it.
Yeah, but he's so handsome, and he would just look so great without.
So charming. Mole. He out charms the mole. You know, having the mole.
Oh, I mean, it's not like he can help it.
It's how good of an orator.
You can cut it off very easily. It's like easy surgery.
He charmed his way out of having a mole.
If you're being busy being president, look at Sarah Jessica Parker before and after.
Do you think Obama's a black person or a jigsaw?
Like the serial killer?
Oh, you mean like the puppet? Is that what you're saying?
Like the Chris Rock?
Or is he the one that rolls up in the?
How you doing?
Game?
Want to play a game?
Oh, nice.
Play a game?
Nice.
That'd be cool if in Chris Rock saw at the end the killer was Obama.
You should change your name from Mr. Skin to Mr. Voices because damn, dude, you can do Obama too.
He just gets up and walks out at the end of the movie. Skin. And Chris Rock is like, God damn! Obama? Shit.
Funny if the movie was like that, but the trailer just cut around it.
Obama says.
I mean, Jigsaw doesn't say anything in the first one, right?
He says, want to play a game?
He says, I win at the end. I remember.
He goes, God damn, I've been laying here for 3 days.
Yeah. What do you think the best Fulci movie is, Willie?
You know, everybody loves Zombie, everybody loves Beyond, but I'm a don't torture a duckling kind of guy.
Well, then why don't we watch that?
What about The Devil's Honey?
I don't like to watch good movies on the podcast, Ryan.
Yeah,
that's for his time. Fair. That's his time.
Unless they're really funny. Should we watch a good movie next week?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, these are entertaining. I enjoy watching these movies.
I think this is almost a good movie. It's almost a really good movie.
The script is literally the only thing. And acting.
But it's still
There's a lot
funny.
of bad acting. Honestly, the only thing good is really the directing and the like stage.
Watching the girls get killed.
What is the word? Setup.
Kill
stage.
Mise en scène.
The apartment that what's her name was in was cool with a titty bird.
Well, they're called.
It was good. Really, 80s apartments. In
set
movie.
Pieces.
Yeah. Set pieces. That's right. The locker room was cool with the strobe lights.
Yeah, it's good shit.
The acting was not great, but when you're trying to get girls to get murdered and have one titty pop out, like you got to work with the people that are willing to do that.
Well, also a lot of the victims were actual dancers, so they were inexperienced actors. Oh yeah, but
nice.
The teacher,
they still pop their titties out just like any professional actor. So proud of them.
Yes, very professional.
So how many stars do you give it, guys? You never answered.
I said 4.
I honestly, a part of me actually wants to give it 4.5, but I don't think the script is.
But then you got to put it half a star next to mine,
and I got to put it half a star next to Williams. So I think I might go 4. I just think the story was just good enough to.
Yeah, I lowered it from a 4. I used to have it at 4, but I was like, you know what? I rewatched Gates of Hell. And that one was better than I remembered.
Well, you're getting influenced by outside sources.
Well, I'm being influenced by my own rating of the directors of the movies.
I was surprisingly more interested. That's why I'm only giving it a 4. Is like I was surprisingly, damn, that's a cool shot. Damn, that was filmed cool.
Totally.
Damn, that was tight. Damn, that bird's name is Titty. All right, 0.5 right there.
It's your holding the controller. Yeah, I think it's really. I love Fulci. I've also seen it like a ton. He's the most director I've watched since I started my Letterboxd account. And yeah, his movies are just.
I also really truly didn't know who. I mean, the screenplay was bad, but I truly didn't know who the killer was.
Yeah, it was still effective. It's kind of.
And then they showed the one black chick going to do the murder in that one scene, and I was like, oh shit, it was her. And then she couldn't do it. And then I was like, oh, she was trying to get away with murder. She hated a serial killer.
Yeah, she's in Demons. She's one of the prostitutes.
Oh yeah, totally. I recognize her now. She's the first one that gets demonized. Right?
That was good, and I thought honestly that was a pretty good acting situation.
Yeah, we all went and saw that.
compared to some of the other.
Yeah, Demons is better than this movie.
Good shit. Good pick, William. You're great. You're a good boy.
Can't wait to hear Adam's review.
Yeah, what are you going to write on Letterboxd, Adam?
Yeah,
yeah.
Can't wait to see his.
Is
it a character? Do you have about 140 characters, or is it limited? Or
no, it's unlimited.
He does like 5 words of a review and then just spams the rest with the links to the podcast, and it's like, listen to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, et cetera, et cetera.
I just post the link. I'm like, I post both links.
You go like fart sound effect. Here's the link. Please click on it.
Movie good? Booby. Yeah. Bird named Titty. Booby.
Yeah.
Here's the link.
That's not a bad review. That's a pretty good one.
Booby.
Do you think
Bird named Titty. Booby.
Yeah.
Booby.
What about Married Children of Men?
Oh yeah.
Married with Children of Men.
Yeah, and No Ma'am is telling Al Bundy he has to kill the last woman because
he'd be babies. Like, why did it take this long for me to be able to do that? Because he hates wives and kids.
Yeah.
And then the dog zooms in on the dog and the dog talks. What is going on? I'm a dog.
Darcy has the baby. His neighbor that he hates.
Right.
And then what's his name starts rapping? The brother.
Bud Bundy. He
had a rap career for a while.
Yeah.
David Faustino.
His song is called I Told You. It's tight. He's in like the LA River in the video, like rapping his heart out.
That's sweet. That sounds good.
It's not. It's how Christina got breast cancer.
From how bad that video was.
It radiated just so poorly.
God
you put your heart and soul in your rap album, and it gives your co-star breast cancer. That's
it'll do that.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Game's hard.
The game is the rap game's hard.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
That should be a movie right there. There's a movie. Somebody that is, like every time they rap, it just somebody loses their tits.
Because they're so bad.
Their tits just disappear.
They suck so hard.
Yeah, but they're like really passionate about rap, so they want to continue their career.
Being so bad at rap that you make titties disappear. Any titty in the vicinity disappears.
Hey, that was a good run.
That was a good run. They start growing back.
So that's like, but it's real sad, and you feel bad for the rapper because after his concerts, he's selling out. He sells out shows, but then afterwards, there's no titties to sign, and so he gets depressed and gets addicted to drugs. And he's got to rap, dude. He's got to rap.
But it's Al Bundy, and it's Al Bundy as the rapper, and they tell him like, apparently there's a pair of tits we found, and you have to rescue it. You have to. This is the. It's the last pair of tits.
They've listened to all of your. This pair of tits has listened to all of your albums and not been affected. Coming February 24th, so you just got with children of men. I got to get across the world to see these tits, to rap at these tits.
Just like really impressive long shots and like.
Oh, it's a beautiful film.
It's really immersive. Yeah.
I think it should just be like a sitcom, like he's in the bowling alley, or
I'm thinking like a 9-part series, like a limited 9-part series.
Yeah,
that plays like a 2-camera sitcom.
Yeah, she gives birth in the shoe store. The lady.
Yeah,
takes.
And her feet stink.
Yeah, and her feet are in the foot things.
And he's like, "Oh, he has to give birth." He's like, "No."
Yeah. Oh, geez, lady.
And then they always have to have like one random football player have a cameo.
I feel like Bill Burr is going to make a cameo as well. F is for family type cameo.
Yeah.
He basically took the idea Married with Children and made it F is for family.
Wait. You're right.
Have you seen that show? Right? I hate having a family.
Isn't F is for family
a
remake of All in the Family?
Probably. So they're all the same. Just back in the day, men hated having wives and families.
And which is The Honeymooners.
Right.
Which is the funniest thing there is. It's like a white guy.
Parents' actual existence.
A fat white guy.
Yeah. A fat white guy who hates women and minorities.
And he's got a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a big oaf. He's an oaf.
Real king of queen situation.
Yeah, king of queen situation all the way. That was very
hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
I love King of Queens.
Loved?
That show could get 5 stars from me.
Currently love King of Queens. 5.5. Easy.
Yeah. 5 stars, baby.
I would never watch that show. It looked fucking horrendous.
No, it's funny.
It's fun.
I mean, I like Jerry Stiller, but
Patton Oswalt was like a writer on the show.
Kevin James, come on, that guy blows. And then
he's pretty good in it. He's gotten
Leah Remini will always be
worse.
Stacey Carosi for me, you know, Saved by the Bell when they got the summer jobs.
Yeah, that was dumb when they were in like college.
Carrie Heffernan.
It's before
Adam,
college.
Your screen froze.
Yeah, you guys are freezing too.
I'm trying to think of a good parody for Kings and Queens.
Scorpion Kings and Queens.
Yeah, Scorpion Kings and Queens.
Scorpion Kings of Queens.
And it's just a Rock as like the Scorpion King,
and he's just
he's a garbage man.
His wife's a scorpion with big old titties.
Yeah.
And he lives with Jerry Stiller.
And he's like, my scorpion wife is a Scientologist.
He's like, my father was so annoying.
My scorpion father is so annoying.
Yeah.
It's not actually a scorpion. It's literally just Ben Stiller's character and everything he's in.
What about Kings and Queen? And it's Freddie Mercury is his wife, and Kevin James is just married to Freddie Mercury.
He was king of queen. Cool. He was pretty much just king of queen. But he doesn't become successful and he has to work at the UPS store.
Yeah. If Freddie Mercury didn't join Queen, he would be
in a
gay marriage with Kevin James.
They hate him at it. He just won't stop singing with his big ass mouth.
Or he just has AIDS. It's just like it's just slowly dying. It's like he's in the hospital the whole time. And Kevin James is like
king of queen.
Kevin James is a gripping performance.
Kevin James, Freddie Mercury.
He's trying to eat like a meatball sub in the hospital room, and Freddie Mercury's like, "Come on, get that out of here! You're making me sick. I can't watch you." He's like, "Sorry, honey."
Out of here.
And Jerry Stiller is like, "What are you, stupid?" And just slaps Kevin James in the head.
Now, laugh track.
I haven't even seen King of Queens, and I know how to make fun of it because I get it.
No, Jerry Stiller is funny in King of Queens.
Jerry Stiller's hilarious.
He's more like annoying to Kevin James. You know what I mean?
I got to go pee so bad.
Then go.
Okay.
I'm going to hit end.
I already started peeing.